Hey guys, Larry here, Boxcars Garage. So we are back on the crusty 36 Coupe, and we're going to try to start getting some work done on this cow. Got a lot to do on this cow. There's a lot of problems with it, and but we just got to jump in and get started. So you want to see how a beginner like me starts to attack this kind of a problem? You're about ready to see. Let's get at it. So let's talk about the part for a second, and we'll also talk about some of my considerations on material and how I was going to build a replacement piece to this. First off, this little piece here has a lot of things going on at one time. There is contour on both the inside and outside of the part that parallels each other. There is a tapered side. This side right here is just a flat 90-degree side. There's not really a problem with that. Up here toward the top, things get really curvy, and that's going to take some attention. Both sides has got shape happening. The pockets where the hinges go are recessed to the main body of the part, so it's going to have to step down and provide for the pocket. Both pockets are like that, and I've got to make sure that I space them correctly to where my hinges line up when I go and I hang my door, so that's going to be a critical area to get right. This piece narrows considerably toward the top because it starts to travel up the windshield support frame, so it chokes down, and when it turns like that, it creates, a bit of a more complicated part than what you would want, but that's the way it is. This foot that connects to the frame probably going to need some form of reinforcement, like a gusset. It seems like they've got one kind of pressed into here, so I'll try to come up with something like that in my piece. I still have the cutaway body metal. This was the only thing holding this A-pillar in place outside of, there was some connections up toward the windscreen, but it was these pinch welds that holds this in place. So this doesn't really need to be here right now. I am going to replace the sheet metal that I had cut away. It's about an inch wide. That sheet metal will get welded to the body metal and finished out before I slip the new part in place, because I've got to go back and rosette weld the two together for its support. Up here is going to get welded up to the spot right here with the loop. This is basically a top rail of the dash support, comes into here, and it'll be touch and go, but this is what we're making. Material wise, I looked at 3 different things, 3 different options. I went to my local recycler the other day, and every time it does this. Come on. Dang it. C-strip material, industrial applications, hanging things, you know, horizontally, vertically, whatever. You see it all over the place. They make fittings that's used with it. The dimensions were pretty close to the target dimensions of the piece, but I ultimately decided that it was going to take too much modification to really make this into something that is worthwhile in the end. I do think it would work. I'm kind of stepping away from it just because I don't want to come across as building a rat rod right now.
Oh, why did I sing that out loud?
I'm not trying to take too many shortcuts, but I did think about this long and hard, and there probably could be a use for this in the future, but just not today. Let's put that down. I looked at this rectangular tubing. Probably would have used this if the profile would have been a little bit deeper. Didn't have exactly what I needed to provide for the contour on the inside and outside of the part. It would have been a contender, just didn't have the right stuff. We're going to go ahead and go with sheet metal. It's going to take me multiple pieces to get it done, but that's okay. So there you have it. Let's make some templates. Yeah. This little project here is eating my lunch. Let's talk about it. So this is what we got going on. You got to see me pull out this A-pillar, and I was happy I kept it, in the shape that it was in this space. It wasn't all mangled and whatnot. I was able to take it out, and I started using it as a template. I started, paying attention to landmark areas that I'm going to have to replicate in the fabrication of another A-pillar. I looked at this. It's got a step right here. I naturally thought, well, that supports a hinge location. It comes in here, and so I started building off my A-pillar parts, because it's like a multi-piece unit, and I built in the step, and disregard this right here. I just had to cut this away for clearance in order to check things back and forth. So I replicated the step. I was getting myself geared up to make another gusset, and it was going to be oriented up in like that, and everything was going to be cool. And then I started, it just wasn't making any sense to me. I went over on the other side, and I'll spin you around there with the other camera. But the other side, I believe, is more correct than this side right here. Before we leave this side right here, let me point out a couple of things. There's been some metal put into this area right here. These little tabs, I believe, were originally a part of this, and I think somebody had repaired this hinge location back in the day, and I believe that the step that I thought, I originally interpreted that as a step, but I think this is just a scabbed up bad project that I was replicating in my pieces. I don't think there's a step at all. And in fact, this gusset that ends up coming, back behind here, it's supposed to be behind this A-pillar. So if you can imagine, let me see here, see if I can get this light shining. There we go. So if you could imagine this gusset being back behind here, there we go, look at that, like that. That's the way this was supposed to be, behind the A-pillar. Specifically, this piece should be forward a little bit more, and then there should be a pocket in the step area that allows that hinge part to slip in between the two. And I don't think this is right. We'll go look at the other side real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm trying to confirm what I'm talking about before I start altering this design. I don't want to take that step out until I know that, yes, it should be flat. It shouldn't have a step there. You're going off of some bad info right here by looking at this that's been cobbled up back in the day. So let's go look at the other side. Okay, so we'll take a look at this one. You can see the pocket clearly there. And if you look, this is that heavy gauge material that the A-pillar is made out of. And if you go around here, let me get some light on the subject. You don't see much of a step there at all. And I don't think you'd want a step because you've got to have a pocket available to you. And I believe, you know, this body metal simply just goes over this heavy gauge A-pillar material. So I think that this driver's side is pretty much telling me how that's supposed to be, but I'm not 100% sure. And I need to get some more info before I start trashing my original plan. So let's talk about the plan going forward. Okay, this is the third cut at wrap up. I'm getting way too chatty. I didn't plan on this video wrapping up with a incomplete product, but sometimes that happens. I do want to get a video out this weekend, and we're going to try to make that happen. This is going to be on a pause until I get some information on this pocket design issue. Then when I get some more info, I'll readdress the pieces that I've made. I'll make the required changes, and we'll get this back on track and get one of these installed here on this side, and then I'll get going on the driver's side. But it's tough when you don't have the hinges, the doors. Yeah. Something decent to look at just makes it hard. So anyway, that is our position today, and we'll get back on it as soon as we can. To my subscribers, thanks so much for being here and giving the channel a shot. If you haven't subscribed, please give it a thought. Sure would like to have you. If you've got some comments on this right here, or if what got you to the channel is that you've got a 3536 and you can help me with my information dilemma, by all means, let me know what's going on, because I'm gonna be researching it. But you know, I'll take good advice from anybody. So let me know, or if you've got an idea, yeah, let's talk about it. But beyond all that, thank you for being here, and thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you later. See ya.